Let's bring in House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, who is asking John Durham to testify on Capitol Hill next week. David Spunt reminded me to ask you, and I'm going to ask as the first question, Congressman, do you believe that John Durham will appear before your committee and testify?
I do, and I hope it is next week, but I do think he'll come. I think you sort of owe it to the country after doing this good work, this long report that he put together with its, just harsh and troublesome findings. I do think he'll come in front of Congress. I think he owes that to the country, and let's hope he does. We got a number of questions to ask him. And one of the things I want to ask about is the whole, we have FISA, part of FISA is up for renewal. It's real important because that was the process that was abused in this, that he points out in the report. So, yeah, I hope he comes because we got a lot of important questions for him.
Will one of those questions be, Congressman, how you have literally half of those who read this report are just dismissing it out of hand as a dud, to quote one network?
Well, it's certainly not a dud. I mean, the one line in there, the FBI failed in its fundamental mission of fidelity to the law. That says it so clearly. They didn't follow the law. There was no probable, the reason they can make that statement because they had no evidence, no probable cause, no predicate, no reason whatsoever to launch this investigation. They did it anyway, and they knew that this dossier came from the Clinton campaign. They used it as a way to go spy on a presidential campaign, and more importantly, to spy on American citizens. They did all that. So, yeah, this is about as damning a report as you can see. So again, I hope some people read it, and I thought you made a great point. The very people who told us things that weren't true are now out there telling us on TV, oh, you can't trust the Durham report. Like, are you kidding me? This report says you guys didn't give us accurate information when you were out trumpeting this whole idea that President Trump somehow was colluding with Russia, which was just based in nothing and absolutely not true.
It just seems, Congressman, that we live in times where there are no consequences, and people are wondering, will there be any consequences for the FBI? Will there be any funding cuts? Will there be any kind of structural changes mandated upon them?
There have to be. That is the leverage we ultimately have. I mean, we can do some criminal referral, whatever, but it's the Justice Department who has to prosecute, has to indict people and prosecute people. We can't do that. What we can do, the power that the founders wanted the legislature, the Congress, and in particular the House of Representatives to have, is the power of the purse. And we're going to have to say some of that money, that taxpayer dollars to go into the FBI, has to be used in different ways, can't be used for some of the things you're doing. Yeah. And frankly, we may have to reduce the amount of money, taxpayer dollars, going to some of these organizations.
Is there something in the report that you read that startled you, something that you would like John Durham to come before your committee and clarify, or at least explain to you in a better way?
Well, I think that I would want him to come and amplify on the part where he talks about Andy McCabe was saying, where's the FISA? How can we get the FISA? When can we get the FISA? Director Comey was saying, where's the FISA? They were in a rush, in a hurry to get this FISA approved so they could go spy on the President Trump's campaign when there was no evidence. So that tells you this came from the top. The rank and file people, they may have been actually doing it the way you're supposed to, or with some of the safeguards in place. But the leaders were wanting to get it done fast for political reasons, and that cannot happen, never should happen in the United States Justice Department.
And I want to play this soundbite because this is back in 2017. This is then House Intel Committee member Trey Gowdy asking John Brennan, the CIA director, 2016, if he had any evidence of collusion. Watch.
Did you see evidence of collusion, coordination, conspiracy between Donald Trump and Russian state actors?
I saw information and intelligence that was worthy of investigation by the Bureau to determine whether or not such cooperation or conclusion was taking place.
So many deceptive statements, Adam Schiff, John Brennan, and again, we go back to the whole consequences thing, and not only are they not apologizing, they're doubling down, sir.
Well, not only not apologizing, they turned around and did it in 2020. John Brennan signed the letter. So in 2016, it was people in the government working with the Clinton campaign to hurt President Trump's campaign. In 2020, it was people outside of the government, recently outside the government, 51 former intel officials who work with the Biden campaign, in particular Tony Blinken, to put together a letter that also kept information from we the people, had an impact on that election. So it's a pattern. Every single election, just Just let we the people decide. Quit impacting and trying to influence and threatening our democracy.
Yeah, it is a pattern. Congressman Jim Jordan, thank you for your time, sir. We appreciate it.